Sup guys, I'm feeling productive today, so I'm doing another video, second video to be exact. So hey everyone, today we're diving into the latest installment of the Poppy Playtime series. One of you have asked me in the comments if I could talk about it, and there's no better time to talk about it now, because guess what, Chapter 4 Safe Haven was released like, I don't know, 5 or 6 days ago. And as someone who's recently immersed themselves in the lore and gameplay of this franchise, I really couldn't but wait to see what this new chapter had in store. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. And for those of you who might be new here, Puppet Playtime is an episodic horror game that takes us deep into the eerie corridors of the Playtime toy factory. Each chapter peels back layers of the company's dark past, revealing sinister experiments and the monstrous creations that resulted from them. And it's this blend of puzzle solving, exploration, and survival horror that keeps players on the edge of all their seats. And before we delve into chapter 4, let's quickly recap the journey so far. In the earlier chapters, we uncovered the mysteries behind the abandoned toy factory, encountering terrifying entities like Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, and Catnap. We learned about the company's unethical experiments, particularly the Bigger Bodies initiative, which aimed to create larger-than-life toys with a mind of their own. And this initiative, as we later discovered, was the brainchild of Dr. Harley Sawyer, a character we'll discuss in more detail shortly. A release on January 30th, 2025, Chapter 4 titled Safe Haven, takes us even deeper into the bowels of the Playtime Co-Factory. And so the chapter begins with our protagonist navigating through the ominous prison section of the facility. It's a place where failed experiments and discarded toys reside. And it's here that the atmosphere truly shines. With dimly lit corridors, unsettling noises echoing in the distance. And then there's a constant sense of dread that something is lurking just around the corner. And as we progress, we encounter new characters, both allies and adversaries. One notable introduction is Doughy the Doughman. It's this dude made out of Play-Doh. And he adds like a unique flavor to the horror elements of this chapter. The puzzles are, I guess they're more complex, more fun, and they require a blend of logic and quick reflexes. Um, as far as I know, the stakes just feel higher than ever before. What's up guys, Future Me here, just letting you know that if you enjoy my content, leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, if you want to support me, just do it. I have been pretty productive lately, making videos of the videos. Yeah, I just enjoy talking about stuff, and if you really enjoy my content, you can subscribe. Just letting you know, because like I've seen 99.9% of you apparently aren't, so just let me know. And as I've already mentioned, if you want to hear me talk about something, yap about something, just let me know in the comments. And just don't want to steal any more of your time, and enjoy. But now let's talk about the antagonist who has quickly become my favorite in the series, Dr. Harley Sawyer, also known as the Doctor. As the head of Playtime Co.'s Special Project Division, Sawyer was the mastermind behind the Bigger Bodies initiative, and his goal was to revolutionize the toy industry by creating sentient, larger-than-life toys. However, his methods were anything but really ethical. Sawyer's character is reminiscent of William Afton from the Five Nights at Freddy's series, a brilliant and yet twisted individual who I talked about in my previous video, and his ambition leads him down to a dark path. Both characters are driven by a desire to push the boundaries of science, regardless of the moral implications, and especially this parallel is likely why I've taken such an interest in Sawyer. His complexity adds depth to the narrative, and this makes the horror elements even more compelling in my opinion. And also in chapter 5, we actually come face to face with the Doctor. The encounter is intense, shedding light on his motivations and the extent of his madness. And without giving too much away, or let's just say that this confrontation is a highlight of the chapter, providing both closure and new questions about the overarching story. So, as I said, I haven't played it. I've seen some gameplay. I do know what happens at the end. Still, I don't really want to spoil anything, or just don't have the knowledge to talk about it now, because I don't want to say any wrong stuff. But anyway, moving on. So from a gameplay perspective, Chapter 4 introduces several new mechanics that I've seen that keep the experience fresh. So the puzzles are more challenging, often requiring players to think outside the box. There's a particular sequence involving the manipulation of machinery that really had me scratching my head in a good way. So that the developers have clearly taken player feedback into account, crafting puzzles that are both engaging and rewarding to solve. And also, what I really like, and what I think the first chapters had a lack of, was the horror elements. And they are really ramped up in this chapter. So the use of sound design is particularly effective. Distant whispers, mechanical clunks, and just the occasional eerie melody create an atmosphere. It's both unsettling and immersive. And so, visually, Safe Haven is really stunning. The art team has outdone themselves, creating environments that are both beautiful and extremely horrifying. And in my opinion, the contrast between the colorful, child-friendly design of the toys and the dark, decaying factory creates a jarring scenery that enhances the horror elements. The character designs, especially for the new antagonists, are extremely creative and terrifying, leaving a lasting impression long after the game is turned off. So, of a storytelling perspective, one of the strengths of Poppy Playtime has always been its storytelling, and Chapter 4 is no exception. The narrative is rich, with lore scattered throughout the environment in the form of tapes and documents and visual cues. And these elements encourage players to piece together the story and creating a sense of involvement that's often missing in horror games, except for FNAF, for example. And the revelations about Dr. Harley Sawyer also adds more layers to the story, providing insight into the company's downfall and the horrors that took place within its walls. Now, the moral questions raised by the Bigger Bodies initiative and the pursuit of scientific advancement at the cost of humanity are thought-provoking and add depth to the horror. So in conclusion, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 Safe Haven really is a masterful addition to the series. It builds upon the foundations laid by the previous chapters, introducing new gameplay mechanics, deepening the lore, and providing genuine scares. And as someone who's relatively new to the franchise, 2 days to be exact, this chapter has solidified my appreciation for the series and its storytelling prowess. And I just can't stop, or just can't but mention Dr. Harley Sawyer, because he just stands out as a compelling antagonist. His character echoing the complexities of villains like William Afton, who I mentioned as already said in the previous video. And this depth adds a layer of intrigue to the horror, making the experience all the more engaging. Yeah, so if you haven't played Poppy Playtime yet, I highly recommend diving in. And for those who've been following the series, Chapter 4 really is a must-play that will leave you eagerly anticipating what's next. If you have played it, let me know in the comments what you've thought of it. Just give me your reviews. I'm excited to read them. And yeah, thanks for joining me on this journey. And stay tuned for more content. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about next. And as always, stay hydrated, curious, and safe. And so yeah.